When life is but a torture, welcome to Smiley's Corner. Yeah!
Welcome to Smiley's Corner. My name's Smiley. We are gathered here today with my good friend John.
Hello, everyone. It's good to. See. Well, okay, we got video. I can say see you again. It's good to be heard again.
So, seen or heard, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't think very many people watch the YouTubes. Occasionally, we got, what was it, for a milli? I think we got like 23 views or something. But
nice, 23, man.
normally we're like topping out about 5 views.
I want to thank my mom for those 23 views. I appreciate that. Actually, it's probably a good idea that she. I don't even know. Well, your mom knows. I don't think my mom knows I do this. I don't think anyone in the family knows I do this.
My girlfriend told me that she'll like put it on and like just mute it and leave it in the background running so it gets like a view.
She doesn't even want to listen to it.
I don't know. Maybe I think she listens a little bit, but she's not a podcast fan.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, it doesn't make me feel as bad. But that's nice that she gives us a view. So now when I know that, like, okay, every video has at least one view, I know it's her.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny that she puts it on mute. Such a ringing endorsement. I mean, I get it. It's definitely... It kind of sucks whenever you're... It seems like such a surefire thing that some people you know will really love this podcast.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, man, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, really? Like, you like the comedian or the actor? And
Uh-huh.
just not doing it for you at all?
Yeah.
Like,
But I think some people just don't really enjoy listening to people talk. I can't explain why I like it so much, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't, I mean, it wasn't... I feel like Tell 'Em Steve Dave was the first one that I started listening to. And that was, I mean, I think that's why I liked podcasts, is because I could not necessarily have to focus or anything. It wasn't like watching, because I have a bad problem of, because I used to, get DVDs of movies or shows, but the problem is I wouldn't watch them only because I feel like some people just kind of have them on and go about their business.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I watched the whole season. And I'm like, to me, I'm thinking sitting on the couch, eyes glued to the TV, watching the whole season. I don't want to say a lot, but I don't think some people do that.
They're just like, yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, they're just like, they have it on while they're like cleaning up the house. And not that you miss anything. It's just, I don't know. That's like when I watch something, I want to watch something. And I really hate it whenever, because I've been rewatching Trigun recently. And there's a few episodes where like I just had it on play all, and then I was, got halfway through, and I'm like, oh, I need to do this chore, this, that thing. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
I got to go back and rewatch those episodes. Because like, I know it happens, but I just, I just want to sit and watch it. That was the whole goal, and now I'm already doing stuff. But that's what I liked about podcasts, because I didn't necessarily have to focus. I mean, it's like, especially in the car, like you shouldn't be watching TV anyways.
Yeah.
I hope no one's watching TV. Sounds weird to say watch it. I feel like it sounds weird to say watch TV. Is that going to be outdated?
Oh.
It's just like people still watch stuff on a television, but I just feel like the phrase watch TV just sounds dated.
Yeah, people don't... live TV isn't really like a big thing anymore. Everybody streams everything. It's just like you watch your show whenever you want, because you don't have to like worry about being there on like Thursday night at 7 p.m. because regardless, it's going to be on Hulu or whatever station's app.
That's very true. Very weird.
Yeah.
We're in the future, man.
I mean, some people are still like, I don't know, when Game of Thrones was big, I know like you'd have like watching parties because it was all about FOMO. They didn't want to like get caught in the FOMO. So
I guarantee that's why Disney Plus did The Mandalorian weekly.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's why they did it, so they wouldn't, like, people wouldn't be like, boom, binged it out. But granted, of all the stuff that I've heard, that I mean, fucking Disney owns basically the world, so anything that you've ever wanted to see ever is almost on there at this point. So,
but I know Netflix has dabbled in the weekly. I don't know if they have any weekly stuff going on now, but they've done like a handful of shows where it's like a weekly thing. Because I've talked to people that do that whole, like, yeah, I only watch it when my show's on. Other than that, I just like cancel the subscription because I don't give a shit about those other shows. It makes sense, but Netflix is like, fine, there'd be some other guy that'll come along and give us $12 or whatever it is.
Yeah, we're not worried about it. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I wonder, man, I can never, I mean, this is probably why I'm at where I'm at in my life, because, you know, I can't see the next step. That's why I'm not a Silicon Valley billionaire or anything. I just can't imagine the next step at this point. Like, how would it get better?
I
Like,
mean,
'cause it seems like it's pretty good.
they
Like,
could have like either some kind of contact lens implant kind of thing,
oh, you're right. Never mind.
or like the Google glasses that didn't really work out. I don't really know.
That's what I'm saying. There's always like these little things that like 3D stuff. It's always been like, I was gonna say threatened. Maybe that's not the right word, but it's like it's always there, but it just never really kind of catches on.
Well, I feel like now isn't it just kind of like commonplace for most blockbuster shows? Don't they always do them in 3D?
They have 3D, but it's not like it's commonplace enough to where everyone is aware of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone really like. What I'm saying is like, you don't watch the Sunday Night Football game in 3D.
Oh,
Like you don't
yeah.
like it's not like it hasn't. And I feel like if it had gotten popular, like we would have been at that point to where like, yeah, you're watching live football in 3D, but it's not really. They do have the VR thing. I guess I was meaning more just like as far as like how we consume television shows and movies, like the whole streaming thing. Like I just don't see how would that even get better? Like, because I'm thinking like maybe you're like, oh well, I don't want Netflix, but it's like, oh, you can just buy the show, just buy the digital streaming, but you can probably already do that anyway. So
Yeah, on iTunes, if you like subscribe to it or whatever, like you pay for the full season, whenever the new episodes come out, you got them instantly.
yeah, I don't. But then when I said the VR thing, that made me think like, I can go into an episode of Breaking Bad.
Oh, well, I know people do. Have you heard about like VR watching parties?
I haven't, but
So-
I just realized that's probably what is coming next. Like, people are gonna make shows based around you being in them, almost.
Well, the thing I'm talking about is way more low tech than that. It's just like rather than hanging out in your living room with like a bunch of your friends, you're hanging out in a virtual space with a bunch of your friends watching a thing. So like you're all getting together to watch a movie, or it could be a bunch of random strangers, I don't know, but you're watching a movie in a virtual space on a virtual screen. You're still watching a movie, but it's like, I don't know.
So I'm at my apartment. You're at your apartment.
Uh-huh.
And we're gonna sit down to watch Toxic Avenger 3. And we're basically like sitting in a virtual living room together,
Right.
watching this film.
I guess the advantage is you can make it like a movie-sized screen if you want.
So when I
but-
turn to you, I see you.
Yeah, or like an avatar of me.
Because I was just about to ask, like, because you have basically like Skype or like live streaming where it's like, you know, we can get on YouTube right now and like basically have a Skype conversation. So it's like, if you could meld that with the VR.
It'd probably have to be like, you'd have to have like a 360, like a VR camera set up. So you could see me, but it would be me like with goggles on.
Well, think about it. Like Google Maps has all the roads, right? I feel like, and I know it sounds really ridiculous, but eventually they're just going to get all of the environments everywhere. So it's basically like, you know, I moved to Minnesota, you live in Washington. It's like we get home, we put on our headsets, and hey, we're going to meet up at some bar in Denton. And it's like a VR experience.
Yeah.
Of us being in this place. Or, I mean, you could visit far off lands. I feel like, I said I don't see the next step. I feel like that's the next step. Because I'm like, now that I'm like thinking about that, man, like that would be great. Because it's like, it's one thing to have a phone call, but it's like, you know, what if I could like, just, oh, man, that just made
And
me
you can also play, I imagine you can play games with your friends too, like in virtual reality.
yeah,
like
that makes,
online multiplayer.
yeah. What's funny is I feel like anyone listening probably like, yeah, a lot of this stuff already exists, dude. You don't know this. But I'm like, yeah, you got to realize who you're talking to. But it just made me sad realizing, because I was going to say, it'd be nice to be able to like have a virtual call with my parents and like let's go to Fisherman's Market or something. Although you wouldn't be able to like, I guess you're fake eating food, but it made me sad because I'm like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. Like, I'll probably be dead before it gets to that point, so I don't think I'll be able to. Yeah, so we're gonna get VR before they have immortality. That's a shame. I don't know about immortality though.
But I imagine it'll be something like Ready Player One. I don't know if you ever caught that one, but
I didn't. I mean, it sounded like, hey man, remember being younger? It's just, I think it's the problem with a lot of people our age. It's like, I mean, I'm a victim of it too. It's just like a lot of not growing up.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Hey, remember those things you liked? Like, yeah, they're still here. You can come check them out and like, oh my god, totally, I know that show. I know that reference. Oh my god.
But it was just interesting. Like, even like the poor kid had like basically just scrapped together a bunch of parts for a VR rig. And meanwhile, like, they show like a guy who like shelled out a bunch of cash for like the real deal. It's basically like a 360 treadmill type of thing, so any direction you walk you won't like get out of the immersion.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Because normal people, they just have to like sit there and like, I don't know, walk around their living room or whatever.
That is weird because I feel like man, the more we talk about this, I think we're gonna like willingly go into the Matrix. We're gonna be like, everyone's gonna like, yeah, let's sign me up. Like, they're not gonna be like unplugged and be like, what is this bullshit? They're gonna be like, no, plug me in, man.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll live in a fucking capsule and fucking have a big giant thing in my fucking brain. I don't care. So yeah, I guess that's probably man, what do you think you'd do if it's like a 20-year-old fucking movie? But they're coming out with a new one, so it's semi-relevant. But do you think? Because I remember the first one. I can't remember that guy's real name. Joe Palmiotti or something.
Pantoliano.
Yeah. Do you think you would have done what he does? He's just like, dude, I know it's like us sitting in a tube, but it's like if you're not aware that you're sitting in the tube, then what's the problem here? Like, why is it so? Why is it so bad?
Well, it's bad because there's like evil robots harvesting humans for batteries, basically.
But okay, I mean, we harvest animals for consumption. Like, if they were to suddenly wake up and be like, "Oh, this is fucked up," like, no, it's not. You're just like, we think it's bad because like, oh, because we're better than everyone else in the food chain.
But it's just like I think it's like a morality thing. Like, whether it's like legitimate or not is basically like, we're trying to fight a war. Like, these things are like using us, and like we're some kind of like farming thing, like we're carrots or some shit.
I mean, we use them
like,
for
that's
that.
fucked up.
Machines. We use machines for that, and they're like, "Fuck you, bro."
We're not. I don't know. It's kind of like a hard thing to wrap. It's hard to wrap your mind around, like a machine being a sentient being.
That's true. So you're. That's funny that we're judging machines as amoral or like immoral, when technically they're amoral.
Yeah.
Is that right? I think I'm using that word right. There's a lot of, what's that word mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's right. And you can't hate the machine, right? That would be funny. Now I sound like I'm so woke that I can't hate the robot for just wanting to murder me, because that's what it was programmed to do, man.
But it's like the whole like Terminator scenario. I mean, like, I don't know. We made them too smart, and then they took over and decided to get rid of us because we're not logical.
That is true. They got rid of them, though. In the Matrix, they're like, no, we want you around. And just for the record, like, I know that humans generate electricity, whatever, but, like, I'm sorry, but we don't produce enough to do that. Like, robots would just be like, let's just make a battery. Like, it's kind of like, or maybe a potato. We'll just make potato. Like, it's like.
Well, did they have an explanation for that? Because didn't they like say like they like already mined all the resources? Because the Earth is basically like a big black cloud of destitute, like.
No, it's true.
Just like.
Yeah, we're fighting to win that back, Smiley. It's basically. It kind of sounds. I know it sounds really bad, but it kind of makes me think of like. the I don't even know if they're third world countries, but like Apple factories or whatever, where it's just like I just picture nothing but smog and like sweatshops where like they build iPhones. That's what I picture it as. I don't know if that's what it is. Hopefully it's not. But I just picture that. But I'm like, well, that's just like the whole world in the Matrix, and we got to fight to win that back. Because I don't want to lay in a tube and be I would be fucking. I think that's what it is. I just realized what it is. So, like, let's say you're Jeff Bezos and you get unplugged and you're like, what the fuck, man? Plug me back in. Like, I don't give a shit about machines and harvesting me. But if you're like, you know, oh, my fucking family died and I'm fucking homeless and blah, 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 and then you get unplugged, you're like, what the fuck, man? So you mean to tell me that, like, you can make like whatever reality you want from me, and that's the fucking one you get from me? So that's probably that's what it is the people that are fucking like downtrodden are like, well, fuck that, man. If you can fucking give me whatever I want, program a fucking better life for me, asshole. Like, now that was weird, because now I'm thinking like maybe that's why people hate God or fucking don't have faith. Or man, it raises so many questions 20 years later.
Yeah, like I still don't like get that. I remember like can't remember if I specifically asked it or I've heard somebody ask it, like when I was like going to like, I don't know, like doing like Sunday school and stuff. It's just like, if God loves us so much, like why is there like cancer and like racism and like I don't know, genocide and all these things? And it's just like, well, it's all part of like the master plan. It's just like,
see, that was always a bad argument. And like, I don't know, what is suffering? Like, I mean, it's defined by us. That I don't. I mean, all the horrible things in the world are man-made too. Like, I don't think.
That's true. I mean, I guess he did give us free will if you want to go by the whole.
And because that's what I started thinking about. Because you have the whole like, oh, why is there this and that? And it's like, well, to be fair, it's like sexually transmitted diseases. Like, if everyone in the world didn't have sex, either didn't have sex at all or waited till they were married, voila. Like, that's and I know people, I would shoot back on that, but I'm just saying, like, he's like, I've laid out some rules for you, and they kind of take care of stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't want to listen, and then you, like, are coming at me, like, it's like, oh, well, I don't know. I mean, that's the only really example, because I'm thinking of, like, other things like racism. Like, racism is, like, man-made, but it's like, how did that come about, and how would, and I'm sure there's things in the Bible that are like, you know, love your fellow man and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, I never fucking told you guys to be racist, or...
Well, I don't know, my big, like, complaint is just, like, I don't know, look at kids born in, like, I don't know, like, third world countries or whatever into like famine. It's just like, why did that kid deserve like to be like created and he's like dying like coming out of the womb? Like,
could have been avoided if they didn't have premarital sex, man. The kid wouldn't be around. But I don't know, like, and that's what's kind of weird is, like, in a weird way, the people that, like, I guess they don't believe in, it's weird that they don't believe in God, but whenever it's like, it's like, well, if there is a God, why is there cancer and stuff? It's like, so, like, he only exists for you to blame everything on him? And I'm kind of like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'd have to look more into this stuff. I'm not really good at arguing theology whatsoever. But, I don't know.
So you want to get into any topics?
Well, I do have a. This is probably old news, and I hope you don't know about this. But I learned something about Ben Affleck. He has a ridiculous, gigantic, ridiculous back tattoo.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Damn it, you already knew. See, I didn't know about this, and I thought like someone showed it online, and I feel like maybe I knew about it at some point, and I just like shut it out of my head because I like Ben Affleck. I know some people hearing that might be like, what? Everyone hates Ben Affleck. But I like Ben Affleck. And I don't know. It just kind of like, oh, man, that really like... Because I feel like I've defended him to people. And And I'm like, man, if they just knew the guy, like, if they knew the guy like I knew the guy, like, but that was definitely, like, one of those things, like, I can't defend that, because it looks, what's funny is I feel like it's well done. It just looks ridiculous. I thought it was a dragon, but apparently it's a phoenix rising from the ashes, which I don't know if that's better or not, because it kind of looks dragon-esque, but it definitely has, like, a bird head. And it's funny to me because, so if it's a phoenix rising from the ashes, you realize that it's, like, the head of this phoenix is on your shoulder blades, and the bottom is, you know, at your, I don't know what you call that, your upper butt. The ashes would be your asshole. So it's a phoenix. It's a phoenix rising from the asses. And I know it sounds like I did that whole story just for that, like, punchline, and I'm not. But it just, I don't know. It just sucks whenever you, like, defend a guy and then you find out and you're like, man, fucking now no one's gonna. Although, to be fair, I defended. I mean, we talked about the Matrix. I defended Keanu Reeves for a long time, and it seems like all of a sudden people are on board. I'm sure he still has his detractors, like, oh, he's a terrible actor. I'm like, because of his tone of voice? I don't understand why people dislike him, but yeah, it's a little, I don't know, that's definitely a mark off the, it's just so weird, because, I mean, like, if you find out he has a back tattoo, you're like, oh, badass, and then you see it, and you're like, there's just something about it that just seems so not Ben Affleck, biggest movie star in the world, cool. It seems like, oh, that's like some meth head I went to high school with in East Texas, and that's the tattoo he has. That
But
kind of seems
it
like,
doesn't look that. Like,
it's just, I don't know. It's just, well, I just feel bad because in an interview, I think he's like, yeah, it's really meaningful to me and stuff, and I'm like, God, that's so weird, man.
I don't know. I think it's just like, I don't know. It reminds me of like a rock star tattoo, like just one of those ridiculous things. It's just like, I don't know. I mean,
I'm really glad that Zack Snyder was like, oh, that's badass, bro. In the fucking Justice League movie, we're totally going to play that up. And you're going to be like, oh, cool, and fucking tatted up. Which is funny because I think they did show his back in the Justice League movie. Because I think they showed scars on it. Maybe it was a side, but I feel like they showed his back. But that might have been, because I think he got this in 2015-ish. So, yeah, that would have been before.
He also has flowers on his shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is just kind of, it's a phoenix rising from the ashes.
He has some kind of like ring thing on the other shoulder. Maybe that's the same. No, that's the opposite shoulder, but.
Which is funny because he's been through a lot. Like, I know he struggled with, like, I don't know about drugs necessarily, but I know, like, alcohol addiction. Which is funny because I gotta say, for, like, as big of a profile celebrity he is, like, that, somehow he's pretty hush-hush about that. Like, you can look up stuff and find out
Well, didn't he go back to rehab recently?
Yeah, but I mean, it seems like whenever I feel like I hear about that stuff with celebrities, especially somebody of his stature, I'm just like, it's like a big deal. Mm-hmm. But it's like, but I mean, he went to rehab, like, I think 15 or 20 years ago at least, because I know whenever Jason Mewes went in, Ben Affleck was in there, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, that's the greatest publicist in the world, because it's like just not getting out, and I'm kind of like, and almost like, that's why I have respect for him, because he keeps his horrible problems to himself, and they're not like on the tablet. It's just weird to me. That's what I'm saying. Like fucking Bennifer. Was that him and J-Lo?
Oh, I mean, him and Jennifer Garner, too.
Oh, that's right. Was there another...
Jennifer,
What I'm saying is, like, did he have nicknames for... was he with Jennifer Aniston, too?
Maybe.
But who was Bennifer referring to? Was that him and Jennifer Garner?
Maybe.
I don't know if it requires you to fucking look it up, but that's what I'm saying, though, like... Him and the J-Lo thing, and even him and Jennifer Garner, but especially the J-Lo thing, the whole Geely, like, it was just tabloid after tabloid, talked about it constantly, and it's just...
they have both pictures, so who fucking knows?
No, okay, yeah, it's just, maybe he just likes Jennifer's. But that's what's so weird, like, being in the spotlight and in the tabloids and everything, and it's like, I expected... I mean, it's what I expect, I guess, of celebrity news to report on that kind of stuff. I don't want to say it's newsworthy. I shouldn't be surprised. I should be happy that you know, oh yeah, he's dealing with a problem privately, and apparently most people are pretty respectful about it.
He is rich as fuck, though, so you can probably cover up whatever he wants.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can cover that up, though. That's what I'm
know.
saying, if I know about it. I mean, it's out there enough. I'm just surprised people didn't make a... Maybe he just doesn't really, like... Maybe the whole J-Lo, maybe the benefit thing was just like, yeah, we wrung you out. Like, I don't know. Probably celebrities, it's weird. The whole 15 minutes worth of fame, I feel like maybe they have that in the tabloid era, too. It's like, we can't wring you out for 20 years of tabloid news. Like, you've got your moment where people are, like, willing to hear about Affleck news in the tabloids, but now they're like, yeah, I don't really care. Because, I don't know, tabloid people are like, who's that? Who's that old guy? Okay, boomer. Like that kind of stuff. That's what I imagine it being. But yeah, that was that was my underwhelming. Maybe I should have. I didn't want to tell you because I was like, oh, I'm afraid we're going to talk about it and then we won't have it for the podcast. But it just kind of.
I can't remember when
took
I
a point
discovered
off.
that, but
It took a point off. I will say this to anybody listening: this might be the best or worst story I've ever heard of Ben Affleck, but I think it's on the Mallrats DVD commentary. They were talking about actually that's what I would say. If you don't like Ben Affleck, I'm really like making people go out of their way to like him.
Yeah.
But the Chasing Amy DVD commentary and the Mallrats one, I know for sure he's on those two. But I feel like when you see the genuine behind the camera kind of guy, you're like, oh, he's a cool dude. And he is a cool dude in those two commentaries. That's where I was like, oh, he's just like, he was sleeping on fucking Kevin Smith's couch at that point, and like,
yeah,
he wasn't Ben Affleck, and he's a cool dude. But where was I going at the DVD comment? Oh, the story I had heard that was that I think it was on Mallrats. Apparently, he was one of the things he used to do is take his balls out and put them on people's like shoulders, and when they would turn, his balls would be there or something. Which I thought that was a hilarious story, and I'm like, I'm sure he's glad that didn't get out there. But I don't think he did it to women. But I mean, when you're around Jason Mewes, that kind of makes sense because I think that's very Jason. It's a very Mewesian thing to do.
What was the other thing you had?
Oh, so we talked about ASMR videos before, and just the there's so many different, like, just low talking, whispering, blowing, scratching on it. But I saw the newest. I think it might be a new low. I think it can get lower. But it's just cats licking microphones. It's the most disappointing. It just, I don't know. The fucking video is just like,
well, I mean, I guess
try it with your eyes closing. And I'm like, I don't want. I don't know. It weirds me out when people like dogs licking them. When they just fucking let fucking animals like lick their face, like, oh yeah, yeah. And I'm like, isn't that fucking gross to you, man? It's not even like a whole, oh, their mouth is full of fucking disease or anything like
gross
that.
Being
it's just,
licked.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like being wet. Like, I don't like, oh man, I gotta dry this off. It's wet. And like, whenever I know that I'm now wet and it's fucking saliva, like, that's not. I don't understand how that's appealing. Like, oh, I don't want to let a person lick my face, but I'll let a dog lick my face. It's fucking weird. But yeah, I saw the video, and it's just, yeah, they had two microphones almost set up like this, like back to back, and just cats licking them. Which I just realized they had to put something on there to make the cats lick them.
Well, I imagine if you're into that kind of stuff, you'd probably like those sounds, but these cat tongues are pretty sandpapery.
That's how they fall asleep. People fall asleep to fucking cats licking.
Maybe
it's one of those things where I shouldn't try it out because I'd be like, so Smiley, I know I talked a lot of shit on it, but cat licking ASMR, man, it's pretty cool.
Have you tried like any ASMR like with headphones?
I listened to some briefly, but it just didn't. You know what's funny is I fall asleep to probably something every night.
Yeah.
And so I can't. It's funny because I can't really talk shit, I guess. But I don't fall asleep to ASMR videos. Like, I'll fall asleep to a YouTube video of people talking about a video game or drawing or something, but never, like,
But yeah, the ASMR thing, it doesn't do anything for me either. I don't know.
The only way I feel like it could is if it was kind of like, because I keep seeing an ad for I don't think it's called Meditate, but it's some sort of app, and it's basically like the whole, you're laying down in your bed, and you feel like your body is a machine, and your feet are powering off, and then it moves to your calves, and it's powering off.
Oh, that sounds like hypnosis.
Yeah, like they have, like I've seen that. I keep seeing an ad for an app, and I'm like, I could see me like maybe getting into that, but I would have to be like, I don't want just like a video of like, so I went to the movies the other day and we saw this film and it was really like just talk about random stuff. I'm like, I want to be like, yeah, hypnotized into like falling asleep or whatever, and like actually focusing on what they're talking about, and instead of like just talking about random stuff or licking a fucking microphone. Like licking a microphone is just like, what's that noise? What keeps annoying me right now?
This might take a weird turn, but did we ever get into what is that called? HFO, hands-free orgasming.
That's bullshit. I've dreamed about it my entire life,
but yeah, there's people that do these videos, and it's hypnotism. I'm not sure if they're doing it correctly, because I tried listening to it just to see what it was, and it's basically just like a lot of weird noise, and like a girl like repeating stuff. A lot of it's very like hypersexual, because that's what they're trying to get you going. But allegedly, if you like sit and listen to it, and like you buy in, because I think that's the whole thing with hypnosis. You have to like basically let your brain accept that it's happening, because I don't know, if you don't like go all in on the thing, it's not gonna work. I don't know if like there are cases of people be getting hypnotized like without like wanting to be hypnotized.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they're never like, oh, this is bullshit, and they're like, oh yeah, it was fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
They tricked me into it.
But supposedly they'll have like a trigger word, and then when they say it, you'll just boop.
Yeah, I've always heard that. I didn't know about the coming thing. I don't buy that, but I don't buy it at all. I remember
seems like a lot of work that I could like take care of in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I just feel like it would well, maybe it wouldn't feel better because I guess you're still coming, but like, yeah, I just don't. I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. Like, because it's one thing to I don't buy that at all, because I feel like it's one thing to like trigger your mind, or like maybe you react in a way, but like you can't just think and come. I just don't understand how like a word would be able to be like, yeah, whenever I say this word, you're gonna poop.
Well, this
it's
is
like it's a bodily function. You can't just, it happened, there you go.
Well, this is your brain telling your body to do something now.
I guess, but if it, maybe shitting isn't a good example, because it's like if you can't shit, you won't shit, kind of thing. Yeah. But I guess you don't necessarily.
But it is from like physical stimulation, but I don't really know. I'm not sure like the mechanics of it as far as like what your brain does and what your body does, but.
And sometimes you do it when you're like, oh, I didn't want to do that fast.
Yeah, it's true.
So I guess that's true, because it's like, I don't really have mental control of it necessarily.
If you're under the influence of certain substances, it could take longer or it could be faster, depending on like.
That's true. Maybe. Just say a word. That would be weird if you have to. I'm thinking of all the horrible like trigger words. I.e., one of them rhyming with the word trigger. And that's what makes you.
But I imagine, like, maybe if you could be hypnotized into thinking that you were having sex, like, if your brain can get fooled into, like, thinking you're committing the act, and.
I feel like that should really be.
Actually, what about, wet dreams? That's.
I don't know, man. I can't really speak to wet dreams.
Oh, I've had one. It just like
Is it
happens.
like full on ejaculation or is it like pre-cum?
Oh, it was full on. Like I made a mess.
Fuck, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I was always so confused. I just like I remember hearing about it growing up and just like playing along and like, dude, I've never fucking just straight up came in my sleep.
But that's yeah. Whenever I did the whole the abstinence January last year, it was like I kept reading about stuff and they were just like, yeah, if you hold out long enough, like your body will just be like, we got to get rid of this. Like it's got to go somewhere. And it never did happen. Like I got really like bent out of shape, but like nothing ever came out in my sleep. But that did happen to me when I was like an adolescent. But yeah, it was just a very like vivid sex dream, and then you like wake up and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's yeah. That's why I was thinking I was trying to use the whole like analogy with the shit or whatever. It's like you can't just like say a word and then I shit my pants. It's like the body. Like if you can't shit, you're not gonna shit. But like you can definitely come at any time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be. I feel like that should be more jarring. I remember. I've talked about Norm Macdonald a lot, but he talked about saying when he was younger, seeing a guy like hypnotized, and it was the same kind of thing. It had a trigger word, and this guy thought he was a chicken and would act like a chicken. Mm-hmm. And then, like, so after this show or wherever he saw this happen at, he's probably not even fucking true, but he asked the guy, he's like, "So you really thought you were a chicken?" Like, "Yeah, man, it was pretty cool." And he's like, "That's it?" Like, you went from being a human being, like, just 30 minutes ago, you thought you were a fucking chicken. And that's not, like, traumatizing to you? Or not, it's just like, yeah, man, it was pretty cool. Like, man, this is fucking bullshit. Like, and I kind of feel like, yeah, that should be much more, like, you should just go home and, like, just sit in quiet and, like, question everything. Like, I thought I was a chicken. Like, I thought like a chicken. And, because, I mean, even if you're tricking your brain, it's like, you're just, all that you have is like what you've observed of chickens, so you're just kind of reacting, but you can't like really be a chicken. That sounds so dumb. Like, you must be the chicken. Arise, chicken, arise. Buddy, you want to get into a little mama news?
Oh, we can.
We should have like a mama news. Mama. Is that not what it's called? Mixed martial arts news.
MMA. So I was looking at this stuff. We got UFC 246 coming up this weekend. Donald Cerrone and Conor McGregor.
Who's Conor McGregor? I've heard of Donald Cerrone. I've never heard of Conor McGregor.
He's a wily Irishman. He's made a lot of money.
Oh, that's the guy that beat up Floyd Mayweather, right?
Not quite. He talked a lot of shit and got beat by points. At least he didn't get knocked out.
Let's... Whoa. Against Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a TKO.
Was it a TKO?
He didn't go to the distance. Yeah, the fucking ref stepped in.
Oh,
he was mad because...
It was, like, questionable.
He didn't go out on his fucking back or whatever. He was mad. But, dude, he was going to be put on his back. Like, he was done.
He was getting lit up.
He was like, no, I was going to power through. Like,
yeah.
You're a fucking psychopath, dude.
Sorry, I must not have paid attention to
Dude, that was the most disappointing thing. Because I was full on, like, he can do it. And he looked good through the first 4 rounds. But then you realize, once you saw Floyd Mayweather actually beat him, you realize, like, oh, he could have done that way sooner. It wasn't like, because people were like, oh, man, he's landing on fucking Floyd.
He's just playing with his food.
He's landing on Floyd. They said he wouldn't do that, and look at him, that's what he's doing. And then once you see, like, once Floyd, like, decided to win the fight, it was like, and not only that, it decided to win the fight on the round that Floyd bet that he would win the fight.
Yeah.
Like, once he decided to do that, it was like, it was no fucking contest.
Yeah.
And it was just very disappointing because I'm like, ever since then, I'm like, golly, you know, he has inspirational quotes and talks about like lifting himself up and believing himself and visualize and blah 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 and stuff, and you're just like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta train harder.
Well, he does train the fuck out of everything. Like, he just...
well, okay. Yeah, I don't ask Khabib that. Ask Nate Diaz won that.
But anyways, so we got on the main card, we also have Anthony Pettis, and I believe the name's Carlos Fajea.
Yeah, I keep seeing the name, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till other people say it. I do like, that is one thing I like about following like MMA stuff is whenever I'm around people that don't watch it, usually like family members, and it's like, yeah, it's Ioane and Jacek. Like, what? And I'm like, I only know that because I've heard that name 10 million times, but.
But you remember when Anthony Pettis fought Nate Diaz?
Yes, I do.
And he lost the decision to Nate Diaz. Before that, he was asked, I can't remember like how, it was like really close to the fight time. USADA came in, that's the United States Anti-Doping Agency. They came in and wanted a urine sample. So he gave him a urine sample, and he was rehydrating at this point. So like he basically was just like pissing water. Mm-hmm. And they had to come back and they were like, oh, that first sample wasn't good, we need another one. So he did the other one, and apparently according to the rules...
How is a sample not good?
I don't know.
Your piss went bad, dude. We left the cap off and it's spoiled.
But according to the rules, like the USADA agent or whatever is not supposed to like touch the container. Mm-hmm. Like the person giving the sample has to like, I mean, they have to sit and watch them, but they have to like go into the thing and then close it up. And for some reason, I didn't realize, this sounds so bizarre and like very questionable, but apparently it was a glass bottle. And
well, now I understand why this shit costs so much fucking money for them to do if they're fucking.
So Pettis screwed the thing back on, and there was like some glass sticking out, and it caught his hand. So it cut his hand before he's about to like go out and fight.
How bad is the cut?
It was, I think I just kind of, I only watched the interview one time, but it was like stitches. Like he needed stitches.
Wow.
And I think it was the web.
Yikes.
Like it was close to his thumb for sure. Anyways, the doctor comes, and Duke Rufus was like, no, you're not going to fight. We're not going to fight. We're not going to do this. Like, it's too, like, there's too much, like, shit going on. Like, we just can't deal with this right now. Like, you're not going to go in there with, like, a cut hand, like, from the jump. And Pettis, like, sat and, like, I think he talked to his wife, fiance, I can't remember. And, like, it was basically his call, like, whether or not he's going to fight. The doctor was like, okay, we can do stitches. But if we do stitches, you're probably, like, once you start moving around in there, they're gonna pop. Like, you're gonna come back open and you start bleeding again. Or we can glue it, like super glue it shut, and you probably won't bleed, but like it's just that's like a whole nother thing. So he opted to do the glue, but I think like once he like got wrapped up and started like warming up and stuff, it still like busted open. So he claims that, like, I don't know, like, he just wasn't in, like, because of this whole accident, it wasn't in, like, a good headspace.
Oh, yeah, that's all I would be thinking about is, like, wow, this is going to, like, it's one thing if you're going to lose the fight, but that's all I'm thinking about is, like, a non-fighter is, like, so I'm going to have a cut hand that had needed stitches, and I'm going to go out and fight for potentially... Was it a 5-round fight? I know it wasn't a title fight, but it might have been the headliner. Yeah, it definitely was if it was Nate Diaz. But, like, just the long-term ramifications is what I'm thinking of.
But I don't know, like, exactly what caused him to do this. But if you watch Pettis, he's like, he'll go for the kill if he sees it, but he's, like, more of a technical, like, fighter. And apparently he was just, like, headhunting. Like, just trying to, like... Because I think he got a good lick in, and he was like, oh, I'm going to fuck this dude up. And it did not work out well for him, because Nate Diaz just, like, picked him apart. But, anyways, so he said that he and pardon me if I'm like messing up any of these details. I just
I'm
watched
sure
it.
I'm sure he'll listen to our podcast.
But anyways, I think he tried to talk to USADA and see if they could like make things right per se, and they didn't want to do anything, so he's suing them.
He's suing them because he fucked up screwing a cap onto a bottle, so he's gonna sue them.
Well, I mean, they gave him the container.
That's true. I'm gonna sue Vlasic for their faulty fucking.
But like I said, like why is it glass? Like
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that there's something on this bottle that could cut you. Because I was making a joke about Vlasic, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to cut myself on a pickle jar. Like I don't know what kind of bottle this is. I feel like there's that does suck though. Like that, because I mean, I don't think he's lying about it, especially if he's suing them. I don't think but I don't know, I don't know what they could do to make it right.
I don't know, give him a bunch of money or like say I don't know.
It's like you could have not fought, but it's like, but then if you don't fight,
give him like a free drug test
you
pass.
lose money. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's like how. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, how would they make that right? Like make up the money that he lost by losing, like, because you get show money and win money. So he definitely didn't win, so he didn't get that. Did he get fight of the night bonus or anything?
I don't know.
I don't remember if it was or not, but
I feel like it was kind of a big deal because like that was his first foray into 170, maybe ever. I'm not sure. I feel like he might have fought at 170 like way back in the day, but
I don't really know. I mean, that really sucks for him. I just don't know what. And not to say that like, oh, there's nothing they can do. I just can't think of anything that like I don't know what you would want them to do. Definitely like. I mean, how many drug tests they do for all their fighters? I think there's like, if I'm not mistaken, I remember hearing there's like 500 fighters on their roster.
Yeah.
Which seems like a lot.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe if they gave him the money that he lost out, or at least like a certain percentage, maybe the percentage that he wanted, they weren't willing to.
How many? Well, what I'm saying is like that many people on the roster. It's probably a lot of drug tests.
Yeah.
How many of them have cut their hand on a fucking jar?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely bizarre sounding, but like I said, I still don't understand it being glass.
Yeah.
And there being any kind of like I don't know why. That just seems like bad. Like, I don't know why he would like do that, trying to like scam somebody. Like,
yeah, that's what. Like, it'd be one thing if he's just saying like, "Oh yeah, I lost because of this," but the fact that he's suing them, like, kind of seems like it's probably like legit. Like, I don't think he's making up the story. I just don't really know how this is. God, it does kind of suck because you're like. That sucks because you're gonna look like such a fucking asshole. Like, and I feel like he wouldn't be suing unless this was like something serious. Because I'm just saying, like, the public perception is gonna be like I'm saying, like, oh, what the fuck do you want him to do? Like, oh, you're a fucking idiot because you don't know how to fucking do a jar.
Yeah.
Or, oh, you're a pussy because you lost and you get to like you're not gonna look good out of this. Like, no one I feel like is like, all right, yeah. Or, I mean, people don't like USADA. There are people that were like, fuck them, take them for all you can get.
We also don't know what, because like I said, it was like a stitch-worthy injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, you have like doctor bills and all kinds of other stuff on top of that. Like, all of that could have been avoided. Like, he was going to a fight, so he's definitely going to have like issues from that. But that's just like one more thing that he has to worry about.
Mm-hmm. God, that does suck, man. You always hear about people that have those injuries, and like, I like it whenever people like, quote unquote, don't make excuses and everything. But some of the people that go into those fights, like with the injuries they have, I'm like, fuck that, man. 'Cause it's like you're going in there to get injured, and you're already walking in injured.
And they all have to get doctors like approvals before they even go into a fight. Yeah. So that's like another thing. Like you gotta like wait for that to heal before you can.
And that's the thing that's what sucks is it's like, so not only are you at a disadvantage in the fight, which losing the fight is going to take you down in the rankings, make it harder for you to get great opponents and make more money and stuff. But It's like, I know Dana White is not a fan of people that pull out of fights. Like he wants the show must go on. So that now you're going to be at a bad standing with the guy that like. is the president of the company.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's a no-win situation because it's like if I go in
And
lose,
he already gave them like one sample, and they were the ones that came back asking for another one.
Yeah, I don't get the whole bad sample. Like I peed into a jar, apparently a glass fucking jar. It's like, oh, that sample wasn't good. What do you mean it wasn't good? Like it had bad stuff in it? Like how does it go bad? I don't understand how pee in a cup cannot be good. That sounds weird too.
Yeah.
Something's going on here. Something very fishy.
Well, I wonder if you have like enough, if there's enough like H2O, like in your urine, if it'll dilute your piss enough so that certain substances won't show up. I've never heard of people like trying.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole like you gotta fucking lose weight and then rehydrate. Although how much if he's fighting at 170? Like I wouldn't think he's losing that much, but I guess he's bigger than I realize.
Yeah.
I bet he walks around at like 180, 190. You don't think 190, right?
Maybe. I mean, look at El Cucuy. Didn't he like walk around like close to like 200 pounds?
Well, that's according to him. I've never heard anyone else say that other than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he claims that he loses 50 to 60 pounds.
But I feel like
you've seen that guy, right?
Nate Diaz walks around like close to like 200 pounds. He's a pretty big fella.
I've heard, what's funny is I've only heard that from Conor McGregor, the guy that Nate Diaz beat. Like, oh, he was a big boy. I guarantee you he's walking around at 190. And I'm like,
yeah.
But at the same time, I've never heard anyone else say that. I'm not saying it's like untrue, but it's like he doesn't ever look depleted. Like
Yeah.
Conor McGregor 145, like holy fuck, skin and bones.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Johnson at 170, which is so blows my fucking mind. That's never gonna happen again, obviously.
I do know Pettis said that I think he took a year off before this fight, so he had to like readjust things so he could get back down to 155 because that's what this fight's at, the one coming up.
I mean, maybe Nate Diaz would be 190 now and he drops to 170, but I don't think he was 190 and going to 155. Because I just don't for all the shit people would talk about him or whatever, like, I mean, he's a triathlete, like, he is an athlete, like, for sure, and stamina, like, I just don't, like, I know he likes to smoke weed, but I don't think he sits around and balloons up to, and he's still, like, even ballooning up for these guys is fucking ridiculous, but.
Well, I don't know, I mean, some of them, I don't know if you ever saw Johnny Hendricks when he got.
That's true. Johnny Hendricks' lifestyle was very well known, though. So, and his lifestyle was, no one was like, "Oh yeah, he's a triathlete." Like, he wasn't riding bikes cross country and
like
fucking.
He owns a barbecue joint.
Yeah, he owns a barbecue,
occasionally.
and he drives. Fucking his goddamn truck looked like a barbecue joint, like on wheels. Like, is he still around here? Is he in any sort of organization?
He did bare knuckle. I'm not sure if he's still doing that, but
I like that guy. And just for the record, I think a lot of people say this, but he beat GSP. And I love GSP, but I think he beat GSP.
Yeah.
I mean, he made him fucking retire. Look at that. He did come back and beat fucking a one-eyed fucking Englishman, but...
Yeah. In a different weight class.
That's true. That's why he's the greatest. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. But you got time for a joke?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know why you never see elephants hiding in trees?
No.
Because they're so good at it.
No. Sorry. I don't know why that took me a while to get. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Sorry I'm an idiot.
Don't apologize.
Peace be with you. Thank you for listening.